There comes a time in life when you must decide that your happiness will not be held hostage by circumstances. You can't keep waiting for everything to line up, for everyone to like you, for the doors to open, for the bills to vanish, or for the people who hurt you to apologize before you choose joy. If your happiness depends on conditions, you'll live a life chained to situations that will never fully satisfy you. Real happiness, the kind that lasts, is not a product of what happens to you, it's a product of what happens in you. It's not the gift of good times and care enough. It's the discipline of a grateful heart. You've got to reach a place where you can look at your storm and still say, I will bless the Lord anyway. You've got to find a reason to smile even when the mirror shows you your tears. When you learn how to be happy without a reason, you are telling life, I challenge you to love enough. You can't control me anymore because some of you have spent too long giving your joy away to people who didn't even know what to do with it. You've given your peace to situations that were never meant to define you. And now it's time to take it back. Happiness without a reason is not fake. It's freedom. It means you've stopped renting out your emotions to the ups and downs of life. You're no longer waiting for an invitation to dance when the music of life stops playing. You become your own rhythm. You create your own melody. Don't you know that there's power in contentment? That when you stand in peace, even in pain, you confuse the enemy. He expected you to break down. You broke through. He expected your joy to fade when life hit hard, but instead, your praise got louder. Happiness without a reason doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to let reality steal your inner truth. You can acknowledge your pain and still protect your peace. You can walk through loss and still carry light. You can be surrounded by chaos and still have calm in your soul. Because true happiness doesn't come from what's happening around you, from what's happening within you. So today, I challenge you to stop waiting for happiness to arrive in a package marked perfect. Stop waiting for the relationship to work out, the job to call back, the bank to approve, the world to applaud. Start waking up and saying, I'm happy because I'm alive. I'm happy because I have breath. I'm happy because I made it through what tried to destroy me. You don't need a reason when your happiness is rooted in gratitude. Gratitude turns what you have into enough. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. Gratitude says, even if I don't have all I want, I thank God I'm still standing. You see, happiness without a reason is not emotional denial, it's spiritual maturity. It's the understanding that joy is not a mood, it's a mindset. It's knowing that happiness doesn't mean everything is perfect, that you've chosen to see beyond the imperfections, because there will be days when life doesn't give you what you expected. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. Doors will close. But even then, you can say, it is well with my soul. You can stand firm, smile through the storm, and radiate peace because your happiness isn't anchored to outcomes. It's anchored to your outlook. So lift your head, shake off the heaviness. Stop waiting for permission to feel joy. You are allowed to be happy now, not later, not someday, not when life is easy. But now, in this moment, because happiness without a reason is not foolishness, it's faith. It's declaring, I believe that something good is still working, even when I can't see it. Walk in that joy, live in that peace, protect that smile. You've got too much purpose to let your happiness depend on passing seasons. You've come too far to lose your light over temporary darkness. Happiness is not something you stumble upon, it's something you build within yourself. It's not found in money, fame, or applause. It's not sitting in a dream job, a beautiful home, or a perfect relationship. Those things can add flavor to life, yes, but they can't fill the soul. True happiness doesn't come from the outside in, it comes from the inside out. There's a reason so many people chase after success and still feel empty. They collect titles, buy things, gain followers, and yet when the lights go off and the noise fades, they feel an ache deep within that no amount of attention can quiet. That's because happiness was never designed to be something you purchase or perform your way into. It was designed to be something you cultivate inside yourself. You can't depend on people to keep you happy, because people change and people fail, even the ones who love you the most. You can't depend on situations to stay good forever because life will always have seasons, seasons of laughter and seasons of tears. You can't depend on circumstances to cooperate with your peace because life will always test it. But when your happiness is rooted in who you are rather than what's around you, then no storm can steal it. Happiness is an inside job because it begins with your decision to take ownership of your emotional space. It's choosing to stop saying, I'll be happy when, and start saying, I'll be happy now. The moment you decide to stop outsourcing your joy to other people, that's the moment you begin to truly live. When you depend on others for your joy, you hand them the remote control of your emotions. You let them press play, pause, or stop whenever they please. But when you take that remote back, you start directing your own peace. You can't control who comes and goes, who stays loyal, or who walks away, but you can control how you respond. And that control is where happiness begins. Some of the happiest people you'll ever meet don't have much in terms of material wealth, but they have peace. They have laughter that bubbles up from a grateful heart. They have joy that doesn't depend on conditions. It flows from contentment because happiness is not the absence of struggle. It's the ability to smile in the midst of it. You can be in a storm and still have calm on the inside. You can be surrounded by negativity and still carry light in your soul. Happiness is not pretending everything is okay. It's believing that even in the not okay, there's still something worth thanking God for. It's the quiet strength that whispers, I'm still here. I'm still blessed. I'm still becoming. It's easy to feel happy when everything is smooth. It's natural to smile when the sun is shining. But happiness as an inside job means you've reached a level of spiritual maturity where your peace doesn't depend on the forecast. You don't lose your joy every time clouds gather because you understand that rain also nourishes growth. The truth is, happiness built on external things is fragile. When life takes those things away, your joy goes with them. But happiness built on internal truth is unshakable. It's rooted in your values, your faith, your gratitude, your purpose. It's knowing that you have worth even when the world doesn't applaud you. It's being at peace with who you are even when others don't understand you. To be happy from within, you have to clean your inner house. You have to forgive. You can't hold on to grudges and expect peace to dwell there. You can't nurture bitterness and expect joy to blossom. Happiness grows in hearts that are light, not weighed down by anger or regret. You have to release what's heavy. You have to let go of what's toxic. You have to clear out space for joy to breathe. Sometimes you need to sit quietly and reintroduce yourself to yourself. You need to stop chasing after the next thing and just be grateful for the now. You need to look around and see that even though everything isn't perfect, you've come a long way. You survived things that were meant to break you. You learned lessons that strengthened you. You became wiser, softer, deeper. That alone is a reason to smile. Happiness is not the same as excitement. Excitement is temporary. It's the rush that comes and goes. Happiness, real happiness, is steady. It's peace that stays. It's the quiet confidence that even when life isn't loud with blessings, it's still filled with meaning. When you realize that happiness is an inside job, you stop waiting for people to validate you. You stop begging for attention. You stop chasing what was never meant for you. You learn to fill your own cup instead of waiting for someone else to notice it's empty. When your cup overflows, that's when you can give to others from a place of wholeness, not need. You start waking up differently. You stop dreading the day and start embracing it. You stop saying, why me? And start saying, thank you for trusting me to grow through this. You start walking lighter because you're not carrying the weight of expectations. You start breathing easier because you finally accepted that peace is not something you earn. It's something you choose. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you think about it. You can't always choose your path, but you can always choose your posture. And when your posture is gratitude, when your perspective is faith, when your attitude is grounded in love, happiness becomes your natural state. Don't let the noise of the world drown out your inner voice. Happiness lives in that still, quiet place inside you. the part that knows who you are and why you're here, the part that remembers that even in darkness, light exists, that even in pain, purpose is born. So guard your inner world, protect your peace like it's treasure, because it is. Feed your mind with thoughts that uplift you. Surround yourself with people who speak life into you. But even when no one else does, speak it to yourself. Tell yourself that you are enough, you are worthy, you are whole. The most powerful freedom you can ever experience is realizing that your happiness is not dependent on what's happening. It's dependent on what you're choosing to believe. You don't need everything to be perfect to be happy. You just need to know that everything is working together for something good, even if you can't see it yet. Happiness is not a destination you arrive at once life stops being hard. It's a decision you make every single day to find beauty in the ordinary, to find meaning in the mess, and to find peace even in the process. So today, choose joy. Not because everything is easy, but because you deserve to feel light again. Not because the world gave you a reason, because your heart created one. You don't need permission to be happy. You don't need validation to smile. You don't need the world to be perfect before you can be grateful. There comes a moment in life when you must draw a line and decide, my peace is too precious to be given away carelessly. For too long, many of us have traded our peace for approval, our calm for chaos, and our joy for the comfort of others. We've allowed the noise of people, problems, and pressure to rob us of the quiet strength that keeps us steady. Peace was never meant to be negotiable. Peace is not a luxury, it's your birthright. You cannot live a whole life with a divided soul. You cannot think clearly, dream boldly, or love fully if you're constantly at war inside. Peace is not found in the absence of problems. It's found in the presence of balance. It's that sacred stillness in your spirit that says, I refuse to be shaken by everything that shakes around me. But somewhere along the way, we started giving away our peace like it was free. We let people's opinions dictate our mood. We let unexpected events determine our attitude. We allowed toxic words to poison our thoughts and small setbacks to define our worth. We forgot that peace isn't something the world gives, so the world can't take it away unless we hand it over. You can't control what others say or do. You can control what you allow to settle in your heart. You can't always avoid storms, but you can choose not to drown in every one of them. Some of you have been carrying battles that aren't even yours to fight. You've been losing sleep over people who don't think twice about you. You've been replaying conversations in your head, trying to defend yourself to those who have already decided what they want to believe. That's how peace slips away. Not all at once, but little by little. Every time you let someone else's chaos invade your calm, peace is not passive. Power under control. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's the ability to stand in the middle of confusion and still say, it is well with my soul. You can't stop people from talking. You can't stop life from changing. You can stop giving those things authority over your emotions. Every time you let outside noise dictate your inside atmosphere, you surrender a piece of yourself. Some of you have to stop arguing to prove your value. Stop explaining to be understood. Stop apologizing for protecting your peace. You are not selfish for saying no. You are not cold for creating distance. You are not wrong for walking away from conversations that drain your spirit. Peace requires boundaries. And boundaries are not barriers, they are blessings. You've got to stop expecting everyone to handle you gently when they don't even handle themselves with care. You can't pour peace into people who thrive on chaos. You can't make people love stillness when their comfort zone is noise. Some people will always try to pull you into their storms because your calm exposes their confusion. But you don't have to go there. You can choose to stay grounded. You can choose to protect your energy and refuse to be baited into battles that don't build you. Stop giving away your peace by trying to control outcomes you were never meant to control. You can pray, prepare, position yourself, but the rest is not up to you. Worrying won't change the future. It only drains the present. You can't fix everything. You can't please everyone. You can't solve every problem. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let go and let life unfold. When you protect your peace, you stop reacting to everything. You stop letting emotions drive your decisions. You stop letting every inconvenience turn into an internal crisis. You learn to pause before you respond. You learn to breathe before you speak. You learn to listen more to your spirit than to your stress. That's when wisdom rises. That's when peace starts to reign again. There's a difference between peacemaking and peacekeeping. Peacekeeping means you keep quiet to avoid conflict. Peacemaking means you create space for truth, healing, and honesty, even if it's uncomfortable. Peace doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means being brave enough to confront what's not, without losing yourself in the process. You can't have peace if your life is built on pleasing people, because people's opinions change like the wind. Today they love you, tomorrow they doubt you, and by next week they've moved on. If your sense of peace depends on their applause, you'll always live exhausted. But when your peace comes from knowing who you are, no amount of rejection can break you. You learn that your peace is not attached to popularity, it's attached to purpose. Protecting your peace means being okay with being misunderstood. It means learning to walk away from gossip, negativity, and drama. It means learning that silence is not weakness. Sometimes it's the most powerful statement you can make. You don't owe everyone a reaction. Some things don't deserve your energy. Some arguments don't deserve your explanation. Some people don't deserve front row seats to your emotions. When you stop giving away your peace, you start seeing life differently. What used to upset you starts to lose its power. What used to distract you now teaches you discipline. What used to scare you now builds your faith, because peace gives you clarity, and clarity gives you strength. Peace is your guardrail against the chaos of life. It keeps you from swerving off the road of purpose. It helps you stay focused when everything else is pulling for your attention. You can't afford to live in a constant state of emotional chaos, not when you've got dreams to build, goals to reach, and people to bless. You need a sound mind, a steady heart, and a spirit that's settled. You have to wake up each morning and make the conscious choice: I won't let this day steal my peace. Not the traffic, not the phone call, not the disappointment, not the delay. You have to speak peace over your life before the world speaks chaos into it. You have to remind yourself that not everything deserves a reaction. Sometimes the best answer is a calm spirit. Peace is a gift, but it's also a practice. It's something you cultivate daily. It's found in prayer, in reflection, in gratitude, in knowing that you are not in control of everything, but you are held by something greater. It's knowing that even when life is uncertain, you can still be centered. So stop giving your peace away to fear. Stop giving it away to the past. Stop letting old memories rent space in your present. Stop letting other people's moods manipulate yours. You've been through too much to keep letting the world disturb your inner stillness. Your peace is your power. When you walk in peace, you walk with confidence. You speak differently. You think clearly. You love deeply. You live intentionally. That kind of peace, that deep, anchored, unshakable peace can't be bought, can't be borrowed, and can't be broken. So today, make up your mind that you will not give away your peace any longer. Hold it close. Guard it fiercely. Protect it from the noise, from the doubt, from the distractions. Because once you master peace on the inside, no storm on the outside can ever defeat you. Gratitude is the doorway through which joy enters. You cannot live a joyful life if you are blind to what you already have. Gratitude doesn't mean everything in your life is perfect. It means you've learned how to see the good even in what's imperfect. It's the quiet realization that despite the losses, despite the delays, despite the disappointments, there is still so much to thank God for. Joy isn't created by accumulation, it's cultivated through appreciation. You can have more than you've ever had and still feel empty if your heart isn't grateful. You can have less than you've ever had and still feel rich if your heart is full of thanks. Gratitude transforms ordinary days into blessing, routine moments into miracles, and problems into possibilities. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. from what's wrong to what's still right. Gratitude is not a feeling that waits for good things to happen. It's a mindset that creates goodness out of whatever happens. It's standing in the middle of what looks like chaos and saying, I will still be thankful. Because when you learn to thank God, even when you don't understand, you're telling Him, I trust you more than I trust what I see. Gratitude creates joy because it rewires the way you see life. When you start counting your blessings instead of your burdens, you realize how blessed you already are. The things you once took for granted, breath in your lungs, food on your table, peace in your mind, love in your heart, they suddenly become treasures. Gratitude opens your eyes to the beauty that's been hiding in plain sight. Some people are waiting for life to be perfect before they feel grateful. But perfection never comes, and neither does joy when you wait for everything to line up. Gratitude doesn't wait for conditions to change. It changes the condition of your heart. It teaches you how to be content without being complacent, how to appreciate the moment while still believing for more. Every morning you wake up is another reason to give thanks. Every breath you take is a gift. Every lesson you've learned, even the painful ones, is shaping you into someone wiser and stronger. You might not have everything you want, but gratitude reminds you that you have everything you need to keep going. The enemy of joy is comparison. When you start measuring your blessings against someone else's, you rob yourself of peace. Gratitude breaks that cycle, grounds you in your own story. It tells you what I have is enough and who I am is enough. You stop chasing validation and start cherishing your own journey. Because no one else has walked your path, cried your tears, fought your battles. Gratitude honors the uniqueness of your story. Gratitude is not denial of pain, it's defiance of despair. It says, yes, this hurt me. It didn't destroy me. Yes, I've been through darkness, but I found light again. Yes, I've lost some things, but I've gained wisdom, strength, and perspective. Gratitude doesn't erase what went wrong. It redeems it. It turns wounds into wisdom and pain into purpose. When you live with gratitude, you stop chasing happiness and start creating it. You begin to realize that joy is not something that happens to you. It's something that happens through you. Gratitude is the channel through which joy flows. It keeps your heart open, your spirit soft, and your faith alive. You can't be truly grateful and miserable at the same time. One will always silence the other. Gratitude teaches you how to celebrate small victories. The little things, a kind word, a quiet morning, a warm meal, a good laugh, begin to mean more. Because the truth is, joy is not hidden in the grand moments of life. It's tucked inside the simple ones. It's in the smell of rain, the sound of laughter, the comfort of love, peace of forgiveness. Gratitude tunes your heart to notice those things, and in noticing them, you find joy when you practice gratitude. Care enough. You're not pretending that life is easy. You're simply choosing to focus on what's uplifting rather than what's defeating. Gratitude doesn't mean you ignore your problems. It means you refuse to let them define your spirit. You can still cry and be grateful. You can still struggle and be thankful. You can still face uncertainty and choose joy, because gratitude gives you a reason to smile in spite of it all. Gratitude is a language of faith. It's saying, I thank you, not because I have it all, because I trust that you're working it all for good. It's what keeps your heart steady when life is shaky. It's what allows you to sing even when you're standing in the storm. Gratitude reminds you that the same hands that held you yesterday will guide you again today. If you ever want to feel joy again, stop rehearsing what you've lost and start remembering what you've learned. Stop talking about what left and start celebrating what stayed. Stop focusing on what's missing and start appreciating what remains. Gratitude brings your focus to the abundance that already surrounds you. Joy doesn't visit the ungrateful heart because gratitude is the invitation that calls it in. The more you give thanks, the more joy finds its way to you. It's not magic, it's alignment. When your heart aligns with thankfulness, you begin to attract peace, hope, and blessings that were waiting for your awareness. Gratitude doesn't just create joy, it sustains it. Because when you're thankful, you become more mindful. You start taking better care of what you have. You value your time, your relationships, your health. You stop rushing through life and start savoring it. Gratitude slows you down enough to see how much good there really is around you. Even in moments of lack, gratitude teaches abundance. Even in pain, gratitude teaches perspective. Even in waiting, gratitude teaches patience. It tells you that you are not forgotten, that goodness still flows toward you, and that every season, no matter how hard, carries hidden gifts. If you want joy that doesn't fade with circumstances, let gratitude be your daily practice. Before you complain, count your blessings. Before you worry, whisper a thank you. Before you chase something new, appreciate what's already in your hands. Gratitude multiplies what you honor. The more you thank life for its blessings, the more blessings you'll find to thank it for. Gratitude is contagious. When you live with a grateful heart, you shine differently. People feel peace around you. You become a mirror of joy in a world that constantly magnifies what's wrong. Gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your atmosphere. It turns your home, your work, your relationships into sacred spaces where joy can dwell. So wherever you are right now, take a moment, breathe, look around. There's something to be grateful for, always. Maybe it's not what you wanted, but it might be exactly what you needed. Maybe it's small, it's still something. Gratitude doesn't wait for everything to be right. It gives thanks because even now, something is still right. Joy is not a distant destination, it's the echo of a thankful heart. And every time you choose gratitude over grumbling, appreciation over anxiety, thanksgiving over tension, joy grows deeper inside you. You may not control everything that happens in life, but you can always control how you see it. You can choose to see through the lens of gratitude. And when you do, you'll discover that happiness isn't hiding from you. It's been waiting inside you all along, unlocked by the power of a thankful heart. Comes a point in every journey when your feelings will try to drown your faith. Life will hit you with moments that don't make sense, moments when your heart is heavy, your hope is thin, and your emotions whisper louder than your belief. It's in those moments that you must remember this truth. Faith was never meant to follow your feelings. Faith leads when feelings fail. Feelings are real. They are not always reliable. They shift like the wind, up one day, down the next. You can wake up joyful and go to bed discouraged because your circumstances changed, but because your emotions did. Feelings can cloud your vision and convince you that temporary moments are permanent truths. But faith sees beyond the fog. Faith says, even though I don't feel it, I still believe it. Faith is not built on how you feel, it's built on what you know. It's built on conviction, not comfort. It's the steady hand that holds you steady when your emotions tremble. Feelings look at what is visible. Faith looks at what is promised. Feelings focus on the storm. Faith looks for the rainbow that comes after it. Feelings tell you it's over. Faith whispers, it's not finished yet. Too many people live life ruled by emotions. They make decisions out of frustration, speak words out of fear, give up because they don't feel strong anymore. But the truth is you can feel weak and still have power. You can feel broken and still be whole. You can feel forgotten and still be favored. Feelings are the weather. Faith is the climate. The weather changes, but the climate endures. A faith is the quiet strength that stands in the storm and says, I still trust. It's believing even when the evidence says you shouldn't. It's the courage to keep walking when your emotions are screaming to stop. Faith is not blind. It's just not limited to what the eyes can see. Believes in the unseen, hopes in the impossible, and clings to truth when everything else shakes. When you live by feelings, you're a prisoner to your emotions. When you live by faith, you become free. Feelings will tell you that you're alone. Faith reminds you that you're surrounded by grace. Feelings will tell you that you failed. Faith reminds you that you're still growing. Feelings will tell you it's too late. Faith reminds you that God can restore time. You see, feelings come from what you experience. Faith comes from what you know deep within. There will be times when your heart feels heavy, when the promises seem distant, when the prayers feel unanswered. Faith is not about pretending those feelings don't exist. It's about refusing to let them lead. You can feel discouraged and still move forward. You can feel afraid and still take the step. You can feel sad and still choose to see light. Because faith is not an emotion, it's a decision. It's the decision to believe that the same God who brought you this far won't abandon you now. You can't always control how you feel. You can choose what you feed. If you feed your faith, your feelings will eventually follow. But if you feed your feelings, your faith will fade. Doubt knocks, answer with truth. When fear rises, speak faith out loud. When pain screams, let purpose whisper louder. Because whatever you focus on grows, and faith grows when it's fed by trust. Faith over feelings doesn't mean you never cry. It doesn't mean you never struggle. It means that after the tears fall, you still believe. It means that after the confusion settles, you still choose to trust. It means that even when the path is unclear, you take the next step anyway. Faith is not about certainty. It's about courage. The courage to move even when the outcome isn't visible. Sometimes faith is quiet. It doesn't always shout or dance. Sometimes it's the simple act of getting out of bed when your soul feels heavy. Sometimes it's choosing to forgive when your heart still hurts. Sometimes it's believing that there's purpose in the pain even when the pain hasn't passed. Faith doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply whispers, I'm still here. A faith over feelings means learning to anchor your peace in truth, not in moods. Feelings can lie. They can make you believe you're unloved, unworthy, and unseen. But faith declares, I am loved beyond measure. I am chosen with purpose. I am seen even when I feel invisible. Faith reminds you that your worth doesn't decrease when life gets hard. Your value doesn't vanish because your emotions are shaken. Living by faith is an act of strength. It means saying, I won't let my emotions dictate my destiny. It means learning to stand firm even when you don't feel strong. Because feelings fluctuate, truth remains constant. And the truth is, you were built to rise. You were made for resilience. You were designed to overcome. Faith gives you the power to walk through fire and not smell like smoke. It gives you the courage to climb mountains that your feelings told you were impossible. It gives you the peace to rest when your emotions want to run. Faith is the anchor that keeps you grounded when life tries to drift you away. The more you practice faith over feelings, the more peace you'll experience. Because peace doesn't come from everything going right. It comes from knowing you'll be okay even when things go wrong. When you trust that there's a purpose behind every twist and turn, you stop panicking and start persevering. Faith doesn't erase your humanity. It empowers it. It reminds you that strength and sensitivity can coexist. You can be emotional and still be anchored. You won't always feel faithful, but you can always act faithful. Faith is built in motion. It grows every time you choose it over fear. Every time you act with courage when your feelings say, quit, your faith deepens. Every time you forgive when anger feels justified, your faith strengthens. Every time you keep believing when the odds are against you, your faith matures. Faith is a muscle and feelings are waves. If you let the waves control you, you'll never find your balance. But if you stand firm on faith, you'll find that even when the waves crash, you won't fall. Because your stability doesn't depend on the water. It depends on the rock beneath your feet. Faith over feelings doesn't promise that you'll always feel happy. It promises that no matter what you feel, you'll never be without hope. It teaches you that emotions come and go, but truth endures. It tells you that joy is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of peace in the struggle. So the next time your emotions threaten to overwhelm you, pause and remember who you are. You are not your feelings. You are not your fears. You are not your failures. You are a soul anchored in something eternal. And that's why you can stand firm. You may not always feel strong, but you are. You may not always feel confident, but you are chosen. You may not always feel joyful, but joy still lives inside you. Feelings fluctuate, but faith endures. Faith over feelings is the secret to living steady in a shaky world. It's choosing truth when emotions deceive, peace when anxiety rises, and trust when nothing makes sense. Because when faith leads, feelings eventually align every morning. Before your feet hit the floor, you are given a choice. The day may bring challenges, interruptions, and unexpected turns, but before it all unfolds, you have one sacred power: the power to choose joy. Joy isn't a feeling that visits when life is perfect. It's a decision you make even when life is unpredictable. It's not the product of circumstance. It's the posture of the heart. To choose joy daily is to decide that no matter what comes, your spirit will not be shaken and your peace will not be stolen. Joy is not the same as happiness. Happiness depends on what happens, but joy comes from what you believe. Happiness is external. It reacts to the world. Joy is internal. It rules the world within. You can be in the middle of chaos and still carry calm. You can walk through storms and still shine from the inside out. Joy is the quiet confidence that says, no matter what I face today, I will not let the day dictate my heart. Choosing joy daily means making peace with the fact that life will not always go your way. People may disappoint you. Plans may fall apart. Doors may close that you thought would open. But if your joy is anchored in circumstances, it will always be fragile. Joy that lasts must be rooted in something deeper, in faith, in gratitude, in purpose. True joy flows from knowing that even when life changes, your foundation does not. You see, joy is not the denial of reality. It's the defiance of defeat. It's looking at pain and still finding something to praise for. It's standing in the middle of struggle and saying, this too shall pass, my peace will stay. Choosing joy is not pretending everything is okay. It's believing that even in what's not okay, something good is still growing. Each day, you will have moments that test your joy. Someone will say something that hurts. Something will go wrong that you didn't expect. You might wake up tired, overwhelmed, or uncertain. But that's when your choice matters most. Joy doesn't thrive in perfect conditions. It shines in imperfect ones. Every morning is a battlefield between your emotions and your perspective. You may not control what happens. You can control what you magnify. When you choose joy, you take your power back. You stop giving the world authority over your emotions. You stop letting small moments steal big peace. You stop waiting for everything to align before you feel content. You learn to celebrate progress, not perfection. You learn to see blessings in disguise and lessons in loss. You begin to live lighter because you no longer carry the burden of control. Choosing joy daily is an act of faith. It's believing that today is worth showing up for. It's trusting that even the slow days, the quiet days, disappointing days still have purpose. Joy says, I don't have to understand everything to appreciate something. It's a mindset that sees through the lens of hope rather than hardship. Joy doesn't come naturally every day. Some mornings you'll have to fight for it. You'll have to silence the negative thoughts that try to dominate your mind. You'll have to remind yourself that you are more than your mood. You'll have to practice gratitude even when life feels ungrateful. But every time you choose joy, you strengthen your spirit. Every time you choose peace over panic, you train your heart to rise above circumstances. When you choose joy, you send a message to everything that tried to break you. You didn't win. Every time you smile when you could frown, give thanks when you could complain, love when you could withdraw, you are declaring victory. You're saying that your light cannot be dimmed by darkness, your faith cannot be destroyed by fear, and your purpose cannot be undone by pressure. There is something powerful about joy that confuses the enemy. When you still sing after heartbreak, when you still give after loss, when you still hope after disappointment, you become unstoppable. Joy is your rebellion against despair. It's your way of saying, I refuse to be defined by what I've been through. To choose joy daily is to remember that life is happening for you, not to you. Even when it doesn't make sense, every experience is shaping you, stretching you, refining you. When you learn to see pain as a teacher rather than a punishment, you stop resisting and start growing. Joy gives you perspective. It helps you see beyond the moment into the meaning. You don't need everything to be perfect to be at peace. You don't need every question answered to be grateful. You don't need everyone to understand you to walk in joy. You just need to make a daily decision that your joy is not for sale, not negotiable, not dependent on anyone else's approval. Sometimes joy is quiet. It's the deep breath after a long day. It's the small smile when you realize you made it through what once terrified you. It's the simple moment when you feel thankful just to be alive. Don't overlook those moments. That's where real joy lives. It's not always loud or dramatic. Often, it's subtle but strong. When you practice choosing joy, you begin to notice beauty in the ordinary, the way the sunlight hits your face, the laughter of someone you love, the strength in your own resilience. Joy opens your eyes to what's right even when so much feels wrong. It turns routine into gratitude and struggle into strength. Every day won't feel joyful. Every day can contain joy. It's not about denying your emotions. It's about deciding which emotion will lead. Some days you'll feel heavy, and that's okay. Let yourself feel it. But even in those moments, whisper to your soul, I still have reasons to be thankful. I still have hope left. That's the essence of joy. It's not a mask, it's a mindset. Choosing joy daily will change the atmosphere around you. It will draw people toward your peace. It will give hope to those who have forgotten theirs. Joy is contagious. It spreads through smiles, through kindness, through compassion. When you carry joy, you carry healing. Don't wait for the big breakthrough to feel joyful. Celebrate the small victories. The morning you didn't give up, the time you chose patience instead of anger, the moment you forgave someone who didn't apologize. Every small act of joy builds a stronger spirit. Joy is not gone, it's just hidden. You may have to dig beneath the noise, beneath the worry, beneath the pain. But it's there. It's waiting for you to notice again. Joy is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about trusting that even in the imperfections, there's purpose. It's choosing to believe that beauty can rise from ashes, that light still breaks through the darkest clouds, that love is still stronger than fear. When you wake up tomorrow, don't wait for a reason to smile. Give yourself one. Don't wait for peace to find you. Create it. Don't wait for happiness to happen. Cultivate joy from within. Every sunrise is a new invitation to choose again, to believe again, to smile again. Because when you choose joy daily, you stop living as a victim of circumstances and start living as a victor in spirit. You realize that joy is not something you find, it's something you decide. And when you make that decision every morning, your whole world begins to shift. The storms don't stop, but you walk through them differently, calmer, lighter, freer. I choose joy, not because life is easy, because my heart is strong. I choose joy, not because everything is perfect, but because I see purpose in everything. I choose joy because it's the one thing that no one can take from me. And when you live that way, joy becomes your armor, your anthem, your victory song, sung not just on the good days, but on every day you dare to believe that joy is still possible.